You're listening to the Weekend Sport Podcast with Jason Pine from News Talk ZB.
Test 1 of the Rugby Championship. Tonight, Wellington, All Blacks, Argentina, Sky Stadium, 7:05. Let's hope it's more like this from last year's Rugby World Cup.
Will Jordan over the 10, over halfway, puts a kick in behind, chasing after it, it bounces to Will Jordan! A magnificent solo try!
And less like this from 2 years ago in Christchurch.
The siren's about to go. Argentina just need to get it into touch. They just need to get it out. Who wants to do it? Cabelli says, I'll do it. Vamos, vamos, Argentina.
Oh, I remember that night in Christchurch. The Pumas, lost Pumas, beating the All Blacks for the first time. Let's bring in former All Blacks midfielder Pita Alatini for some analysis of this game. First of all, Peter, how have you assessed the first three tests under Scott Robertson this year?
I think like everyone has, mate, it's a pass mark. You know, we didn't lose. And I think it's building nicely. I really did like it that we had England straight off the bat. I think they were a really good test series to really, you know, for some of our boys under Razor, and especially for Razor and his new coaching group, to get a feel around test rugby, I suppose, and also their selections of group they have, and then having the opportunity to play Fiji and San Diego with the amount of changes they made and to get the score. So he's got a good kind of complete squad across the board, I suppose, of what they want so far, and something to really build on, and especially tonight against Argentina and the championship. When
he assesses the first three tests, with reference to what lies ahead in the Rugby Championship, Argentina, South Africa, Australia, and the end-of-year tour, if you look back to those three tests, particularly the England ones, Peter, where are the improvements you think he'll be most keen on seeing?
I think the biggest thing, and we all know it, it's seeing teams like England, South Africa around the rush defence. I think Marshy has always spoken about it, that we haven't got an answer, and he's absolutely right, mate. I think the improvements is around just our skill set that we know that we have, is who are those guys in those right places to really execute the skill set that was required when we come up against rush defence, when we come up against the high kick. So it's really around that area, I think, and that we need to make sure that we kind of firmly have. And the other side is, let's get back to around us playing with speed, making sure that's been our superpower for a long time. How do we make sure that we keep shifting that contact amongst speed and our skill sets to be able to finish off tries with the back three that we have?
How did you used to handle the rush defence as a midfielder?
I think it wasn't too much of a thing with South Africa at times. It was still the old up and out and drift. So it still gave us a bit of time. But I do know, especially with myself, around rush defence, when it did happen, was around my footwork. You know, we've got to have guys to be able to, as they come through, there's the only, if we get too square on them, most of the time you're going to get smoked by those big defenders. But having good footwork was always to get on the side and being able to move, and that's probably where we just need to hopefully have, and we do have guys in that profile to be able to do the job.
So he's gone Geordie Barrett and Anton Leonard-Brown as the starting midfield pair for tonight. Why do you think he's gone that way?
I think there's a big probably look at the ability to distribute to our outsides, and that's probably been a criticism of Rico after the couple of tests and against England, where we do have space on the outside and we're not getting it out to those guys. So I think Leonard Brown and obviously Proctor against obviously it's Fiji, and no disrespect to them, but we've seen that how effective we can be with being able to really fix the inside and create space on the outside for our boys to finish. So I think that's where Leonard Brown, I think, is, we know how experienced he is as well. So that brings another element to that change. But then also having Rico on the bench, him coming back off the bench as an impact, and we all know what he can do. So I'm just hoping that's, it hasn't really got Rico too much, because he's still one of the best in New Zealand, and what he does is just hoping that he'll be able to go his game into what Razor and his coaching group want.
It's becoming quite a contestable position, though, isn't it? Both I think Geordie Barrett's the locked-in 12, but when you look at 13, Rieko Ioane, Anton Leonard-Brown, and as you say, Billy Proctor, only against Fiji, of course, but I thought he made a pretty good fist of his step up to Test rugby. What did you think?
Yeah, I've really been impressed with Billy, and I've followed him during his last couple of years, and in the Canes where he's really stood out with his skill set, his work rate. I really love his defensively. I think that's although he's got a great skill set to get ball out wide. I've been really impressed in his ability to defend well at centre, being able to read those back doors, the outsides coming through, but also his work rate and being able to get back in the position, his off-ball work. So I've been really impressed with it, and I think, given the opportunity, he will put real heat in the midfield. But again, that's exactly what we're after, and just grows our depth in that position.
One in at first five. Damien McKenzie's got a fourth start, so I'm pleased to see them, give him a decent crack. How have you assessed his ability to guide the team around?
I've always been a big fan of D-Mac. I think he's giving these opportunities, getting the consistent selections at 10. I think will only get it better, and that's where we need to go with. We understand his skill set, we understand he has time. Again, he could be another guy that they can be able to really derail that rush defence just with his ability to read that. So I think he's a big pass mark for me, and I look forward to more as he goes through.
And then I look at the locks, and I know this isn't your specialist position, but I'd be keen to hear your views on the inexperience in there. Of course, no Scott Barrett for this one, no Patrick Tuipulotu, Whitelock gone, Retallick gone. So we're Tupou Vai and Sam Darry to start, Josh Lord on the bench. I can't remember a greener locking trio than that, Peter. Should we be concerned at all about that or excited by it?
I think we should be excited, Piney. I think this is where we need to get to. We understand who we've got that's missing, but this is the opportunity that these boys get to start against Argentina. Tupou Vai and has been in and out of the squad. So they all know the environment, right? I mean, Darry's the only one that's fairly new, and he was a big pass mark in Fiji. But I think we need to grow these players so we can, again, the depth that we have in locks needs to go, because we've lost Sam Whitelock and Retallick, the big guns, for many years, and this is an opportunity to really grow that depth in these guys. And these guys have proven, again, through their Super Rugby form for the last couple of years, that they've been really consistent, the best, and it's just great to have some young blood to really step their mark in this arena.
All right, and just a word on Argentina to finish. I think when we look at a rugby calendar, and particularly Rugby Championship, we look at South Africa 2 tests away, going to be tough. The Australian Bledisloe Cup game's always eye-catching. How should we feel about Argentina? I mean, it wasn't that long ago, a couple of years, they beat us on home soil for the first time. How should we assess their threat? I
think we should always treat them with the respect they deserve. Like you said, you've mentioned it, we've lost to them at home soil to the time, so they are a threat, and it's good for us. We need to be on edge. We're home, and we need to start well in this championship, knowing full well, as you said, that those games in South Africa are going to be tough, and these boys will have to be prepped up, but first taking care of Argentina. Good man, Peter. Always love chatting to you, mate. Have an excellent afternoon. Thank you, Piney. Thanks, mate. No, thank you, mate. That's Pita Alatini, former All Blacks midfielder. Some interesting thoughts. I have to admit, this one has crept up on me. The Olympics have kind of dominated my sporting consciousness for the last 2 weeks, but I love the All Blacks. I think most of us do. I'm looking forward to tonight as much as I always look forward to All Blacks tests.
For more from Weekend Sport with Jason Pine, listen live to News Talk ZB weekends from midday or follow the podcast on iHeartRadio.